pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Approval of the financial report.
I was concentrating on that stuff.
Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Schrader, second by Councilman Pacer to approve the financial report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Approval of the July 10th, 2023 Town Board meeting.
So move. Second.
Motion by Councilman Panic, second by Councilman Pacer to approve the July 10th, 2023 Town Board meeting minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Approval of a special town board meeting on August 2nd.
So move. Second. Beat you. Doesn't make any difference.
Motion by Councilman Panic, second by Councilman Pacer to approve the special meeting of August 2nd. Minutes, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Carried. Approval of the fire department report. I'll read it for benefit of those that haven't seen it. Your Stafford Volunteer Fire Department answered 28 calls last month. In those calls were many EMS and multiple MVAs and fire calls. The department members completed 101 hours of training last month, including in that training we did pump operations and hose line skills. We also had a few members attend a class on firefighting foam, which was held at the County Fire Training Center. Please stay safe. Signed, Tim. That would be Tim McDowell. Approve. Any questions?
Yeah, on that report that they give you, their financial report, is that just a general, I break it down into 3 or 4 or 5 categories? Or are you getting an actual reading of actually what they're spending the money on?
The fire department?
Yeah,
Exactly. No, I don't have that in front of me.
no, but I mean, apparently they're just giving you like 5 categories, right?
It's more than that, it breaks it down by account. But as far as like we do, where we have an entire list of invoices and all that, and you can tie it right to
So you
that.
actually don't know what they're spending the money on, other than a category?
We don't know, we know what they're spending the money on, we don't know who they're spending the money on. Is that a good way to put it? It's like it would be like if we forwarded just our financial report without our invoice report.
Because it just seems like a lot of money, and it'd be interesting to see where it's going. I mean, a general category is all right, but it's not telling you what they're spending the money on. And now, budget coming up again this fall for next year, it's something to be looking at.
Yep. Broad categories, what are they spending their money on? Equipment and training.
Not saying there's anything wrong, it's just the fact that it'd be interesting to see where their expenses are, or where they could even save some expenses.
Yeah. Why don't we just ask them to send us one quarterly?
Quarterly
Yeah.
report? Okay.
Yeah, get us one to begin with, and then,
Quarterly financial.
yeah.
Do they have a breakdown on the fire calls? You said they had 28 calls. Is it a breakdown on EMSs and fire call, actual fires and actual accidents?
I don't have that here. no.
But they do send you that.
Yeah, they don't send it to us,
Well,
but they keep
somebody
records of all
gotta
that
keep
stuff.
track of it. It seems like 28 calls. That's like one call a day. I got a fire monitor in my house and I don't hear them going off maybe 3 times a month. I mean, 28 calls, that's a lot of calls.
Oh, yeah.
The city of Batavia don't get 28 calls a month.
Well, we get more than that,
Well, some of that is mutual aid also.
yeah.
So,
I understand, but it still goes, it still goes through the monitor though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Mutual aid?
Sometimes.
I mean, I hear all the mutual aid calls between here and Byron and Bergen and Batavia, but I hear Stafford like 3 times a month.
Okay, do we have an approval of the report?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Panic, second by Councilman Schramm to approve the fire department report. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Approval of the code and zoning enforcement officer report.
Why don't you, there's 11 permits, and then why don't you just read the rest of it, and that basically covers it, and if somebody's interested in that level of detail.
I can read the whole thing.
All right.
Code zoning office monthly report, August 14th. Permits, a barn slash garage on 6172 East Morganville Road. Storage slash shed 8966 Fargo Road. Garage 5795 Sweetland Road. Pole barn 5795 Sweetland Road. Small shed 8797 Town Line Road. 2 small sheds 9033 Roanoke Road. Shed slash fence 6085 Main Road. Fence 6609 Sweetland Road. Area variance 8958 Transit Road. Metal roof 9700 Roanoke Road. Fence 5399 Horseshoe Lake Road. Inspection and posting of Kemp House. Court state debt for trial for Pontillo. Research files, etc. CEC, lots of inspections and closeout permits, as signed by Gene Sinclair. Gene isn't here tonight, is he? No. Any questions?
Yeah, how we coming with that over on the corner anyways? Is it gaining anything?
Well, we have another attorney going to represent us. Let's see.
Yeah, it takes time.
Make a motion to accept this.
Second?
Second.
Motion by Councilman Deason, second by Councilman Pacer, approve the code enforcement officer and zoning enforcement officer report. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Approval of the assessor's report.
I have the limited income senior exemption changes. I don't have, is there an actual report? Yeah, it's the same
See a
thing.
report from the assessor.
All right.
Motion to approve.
Motion made.
Second.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Deason, second by Councilman Pacer to approve the assessor's report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Although it explains that it's, what are, she doesn't seem to be asking anything of us.
Since she just gives a general description that there's changes to the limited income for senior exemption.
All right,
Basically, this is just a
so
new
no
formula.
action.
No, just a new formula that's gonna take place,
Thank
no
you.
action required.
Town of Batavia and Town of Stafford Code Enforcement Agreement. The reason for this is we are down to one code enforcement officer. We have another one on board, but due to training and et cetera, is not quite up to speed. So we have this agreement with the Town of Batavia to fill in along with Gene. This agreement made, it would be this date, by and between the Town of Stafford, a municipal corporation with offices at 8903 Route 237, Stafford, New York, 14143, that's Stafford, and the Town of Batavia, a municipal corporation with office at 3833 West Main Road, Batavia, New York, 14020, that's Batavia. Whereas pursuant to Article 5G of the General Municipal Law, Stafford and Batavia are authorized to enter into an intermunicipal cooperative agreement for the position of code enforcement services, and whereas Batavia employs fully qualified code enforcement officers to enforce zoning code, fire and building codes, and other various codes and regulations, and whereas Stafford has identified a need to have its codes enforced by Batavia, and whereas Batavia intends to continue to maintain the position of code enforcement officer and to provide code enforcement duties in both the Town of Batavia and the Town of Stafford. Now therefore be it resolved pursuant to Article 5G of the General Municipal Law, it is agreed as follows. First, the Stafford shall appoint the code enforcement officers of the Town of Batavia as its code enforcement officers. Second, in consideration for compensation for services set forth herein, Stafford shall pay Batavia between $20 and $200 per inspection. If the absenteeism of the Stafford code enforcement officer is extended for a prolonged period of time, the Town of Stafford and Batavia shall negotiate a compensation agreement for services set forth herein. Third, the services that will be provided will be to administer the adopted New York State building codes, the Town of Stafford zoning code, and the Town of Stafford land separation law. Fourth, services provided will be on call and available during business hours on Monday through Friday work week from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Fifth, the code enforcement officer shall, for all purposes, be deemed an employee of Batavia. The code enforcement officer shall not in any way be construed as an employee of Stafford. Stafford shall pay the code enforcement officer's salary and make employer's contribution for retirement, social security, health insurance, workers' compensation, unemployment, and other similar benefits. This agreement does not include attorney services, and Stafford shall provide and pay for all attorney services and expenses in its jurisdiction. The agreement shall become effective, it would be today's date. Either municipality may terminate this agreement upon a 90-day written notice to the other municipality. Eighth, there are no other agreements or understandings, either oral or written, between the parties affecting this agreement. No changes, additions, or deletions of any portions of this agreement shall be valid or binding upon the parties hereto unless the same is approved in writing by the parties. In witness whereof, the towns have caused this agreement to be signed by the supervisors and the town seal attached on the date first set above. I will sign for the town of Stafford, and Craig Post signs for the town of Batavia.
It's nice that they took right out of our zoning law. It's a perfect match. The second is what we pay, is what we have in our law that says what we will pay for it, so. Somebody was paying attention when they wrote this, you? Very
So
good.
after the, can I ask a question, after the second meeting, had you decided on hiring another zoning one for Stafford though? Another zoning guy?
Well,
This is just part-
we have two now.
Oh, who are the two? I just knew we
Well,
had Gene.
Gene Sinclair and Don Mullen.
Oh,
Don is
okay.
not quite up to speed as
Right.
far as he's got training and et cetera he has to go through. So in the meantime, if we, for some reason or other, Gene can't handle it, why the town of Batavia will.
Well, Dan Lang's already done this for us
Yeah,
for free
Right.
when we got in a pinch, so.
This is just an official agreement between a municipality, just as a backup, all it really is right now.
How long does it usually take to get up to speed and training and certification and stuff? Is there,
I
It
don't
would
know.
take up to 6 months.
Yeah,
Up to 6
Gene
months.
said it could take up to 6 months.
yeah,
But the beauty is Don's, don't forget, it's both zoning and code enforcement, so Don can be, helping out Gene by taking on the zoning issues that don't have, code ramifications.
right.
Motion to approve this agreement?
So move.
Second.
Don't forget I was thinking about this from this meeting to last. Don't forget one of the things, if we look at later on, when they get more people free, that we want them to do what they're doing with our bookkeepers. There's a price you pay for it. There would be nobody sitting in that office doing office hours. They'll be there. Sounds like they run things primarily online. So, it's, those are,
Well, they're here also.
no, I just wanna make that point, that it will be different. That's where they get the savings from.
Okay, motion by Panic, second by Council Decent to approve this municipal agreement. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, you
What's
have
that?
a
Yeah.
host agreement?
We wanted, one of the things we asked for when we were there, and it's not something that we can roll out tonight and take a vote on because it's reasonably complex, is we have the case where, yeah, it's not there. We have the case where, right there, got it. We have the case where there could be solar projects that go above the scope of our law. So if they go over 20 megawatts, then our law doesn't touch them. And we thought it would be best to look at what other towns have done for host agreements that have been hit by the big ones. So we're gonna take a look at this and have a host agreement in place, just in case the state overrules us. So,
Has more solar people came in
no,
to the town?
and the guys that took over for the other people have been dead quiet. Have we heard anything since last month?
What's the name of that company? Does anybody even know the name of that company?
That was the one where they called, they said, because they caught me outside. They showed up at the town hall, and then Barb, you had them call me, right? And I asked who they were. He gave me the name. I go, I'm carrying nothing to write this down. He goes, that's all right. I'll send you a copy of my business card over text. And that's the last I heard of him.
So they didn't give anything in the town
Nope.
clerk or anything about it? What about this Sun East company? Solar company?
Sun East.
Well, the lawyer, you guys have had meetings
Well,
with
that's
them
the guy,
because it was,
they're the ones that went out of business.
no, BW Solar
That's
sold.
BW Solar, but not Sun East.
But Sun East,
Right.
Isn't Sun East the one that is talking about building the big one?
That's the one that sent the letter of intent. That's the only conversation we've had with those people. Any correspondence, we've had no other correspondence.
in the last couple of years.
Yeah, nothing.
And what's the big one?
That is big, Sun East.
That's behind you, Harold. It's the one they're looking at. That's on the Buckley Randall Road, right? That's where they
That's the
wanna
one that
go?
got state would articulate it and then
Yeah.
take over.
Well,
That's the
we
20.
actually don't know.
We
They
don't know.
haven't
They haven't
made,
had a
they
proposal.
haven't made an application.
But that's the location they were looking at.
When they previously called, they were talking about it being 19 point something megawatts, which means it would fall under our law. And then we've heard nothing from them since. No application, no nothing. So.
Well, the first thing they have to do is rezone the piece of property they want to put it on.
Well, they don't gotta rezone 20. The 20 megawatts, they wouldn't have to rezone.
Well,
No.
No?
No, they take
That
over.
just the state
We're out.
overrides that.
Say articulate it, we're done.
never mind the zoning, well, we'll see.
If we do it for our law, they have to.
So if they build a 20-plus megawatt facility, do they have to still file for intent and with the town before they go to the state? Would we have any heads up at all?
We'd
No.
be aware, but we have no control whatsoever over it.
So they don't even go to the town, they just go to the state?
Well, we'd be made aware of it, but we would have no control.
At what point though is my,
As soon as they put the application.
okay, so what would the town do? Would the town try to reach
Nothing.
out to some,
What are we gonna do?
you can't reach out to a representative and,
We can do all that, but it's not gonna change anything.
That's where the host agreement comes in, right?
That's where the host agreements, we can try to at least get some money.
How high can you go with your zoning, not to stop? You can't
20.
say, 20, that's
20. 20 is when Article 10 takes over.
Oh, then it goes up. See, that's all they're doing, they're just sitting in the weeds waiting for you, is all they're doing. As soon as somebody else pops up with one, you're gonna get a letter in the mail or... What happened to that one in Byron? They wanted to go from Byron all the way to Elbow with that one.
They're
Well,
still,
it's going.
Yeah. That's a big one.
They're flagging it already. It's right down there.
from what information you can find on it, you know, I keep referring to Corky Shaw. He's right under the lines and he's gonna be surrounded.
Okay, enough, any further on this? We have resolution 43. Zoning/code enforcement officer intermunicipal agreement between the town of Stafford and the town of Batavia. Whereas the town of Stafford and the town of Batavia entered into a zoning/code enforcement officer agreement in August of 2023, and whereas the agreement addresses the need for the town of Stafford to have its zoning and code enforced during periods when the enforcement officers are unavailable for extended periods of time, and now therefore be it resolved pursuant to Article 5G of the General Municipal Law, the Stafford Town Board wishes to enter into an agreement with the town of Batavia for utilization of their code/zoning enforcement officers pursuant to the attached agreement. And further resolved, the Stafford Town Board hereby authorizes the supervisor to execute the aforementioned agreement.
So moved.
Okay, we got
Second.
Second.
Okay. Motion by Councilman Panic, second by Councilman Deasy. Roll call.
Councilman Panic,
Yes.
Councilman Schram,
Yes.
Councilman Deason,
Yes.
Councilman Pacer,
Yes.
Supervisor Clement.
Yes. Passed, 5-0.
Is 44 the second truck? And 42 that we, all right.
Resolution 44. Approval of selling 2019 pickup truck at auction. Whereas the 2019 heavy-duty Chevy pickup truck is no longer needed by the Highway Department. Whereas the Highway Department is requesting that the 2019 heavy-duty Chevy pickup truck be sold at auction, and therefore be it resolved that the 2019 heavy-duty Chevy pickup truck will be sold at auction. Motion to do this.
Are you going down by one?
No, we'll still have three.
All right. With the other one, because we was a Dodge we sold
Yeah.
and put on auction.
That was the
And
one
you
that
got
took
the
a year and a
replacement
half
for
to
that.
Yep.
And then the replacement for this one will come.
Is it's in Michigan, waiting for a truck to bring it out.
All right.
Magically, GM decided to start making trucks.
So they bunched together because of the lead time on the Dodge
Yep.
replacement.
Yep.
So move. Second.
What auction place do you put that? Do you sell that on? The
Uh,
state
Auctions International.
Auctions International?
You didn't anticipate this. You wanna get rid of this before you get another truck though?
No, I just wanna get this in place, so if it does show up, we can just, because it takes almost a month to get it listed. I'll call them here next week, and it'll be probably 3 weeks before it comes out.
Do you set a price for that, George? Do you do a low bid and
Nope,
No?
just let it go.
you just let it go?
They always bring more than we want, so
What do you want? Cause we're sort of looking for one.
just go online and bid.
What is it at? AuctionInternational.com?
They're on there all the time.
Is that the second or the third pickup truck?
Second.
And you're gonna go for a third one?
Nope,
Oh, you decided not to?
no, it's because of COVID, things all got messed up and jammed up on the orders. And now they're just all kinda,
So you're,
manufacturers are finally starting to catch up on stuff. So that's what it makes it so confusing.
so you're gonna get rid of that and just replace it with one of it?
Yeah, the replacement is on its way.
You'll have two pickup trucks then?
Yeah, so
It's three, no, three.
three,
total.
we'll have three, yeah.
What is the third one for?
There's a lawnmower one, and then there's one when we're doing road work with other towns.
Well, when you go out of town, what do you do out of town? Don't you take a dump truck?
Not always.
What do they do when they go out of town?
Sometimes they're flagging traffic.
Your truck, your pickup can't do that, and take them over.
Well, when we were doing a paving job, I was flagging on 33. Mr. Landers was on 33 also flagging, so there's 2 trucks.
You're not in the union, what are you flagging for?
Well, so where nobody gets killed, that's why.
Maybe you should hire another person.
And they gotta get another truck.
Hard to justify 60,000 of employees for a 3-hour job, you know? That's,
Well, 3 pickups for 3 men, that's pretty good.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilman Paddock, second by Councilman Pacer. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
What was the differential between what you paid for that Dodge and what you got for it?
I'd say around 10, not even, probably a little less. Yeah.
Seems I remember about 32 and you sold it for just shy of 26.
Yeah, and it was at 15. So,
So we had it for over 7 years.
right. In only 2 years, there'd be holes through the side of it, so.
That's why we recommended to the fire department that they should look at turning their vehicles more while they still, because they're buying them on state bid, just like Steve is.
Yeah, but what I'm getting at is the fact that 3 pickup trucks up there is ridiculous. First of all, you're not mowing cemeteries every day. And the guy that's mowing the cemeteries is the guy that's gonna be going to the other town. So why don't you take the money that you're gonna put in that pickup, put it into a front-wheel drive on one of your big trucks, so that when we do have a storm, you can push a V-plow. You don't have a truck that'll push a V-plow. You're stuck. You're done. You're gonna go back to the shop and wait the storm out, all you're gonna do. Do you have a truck that'll push a V-plow?
Yeah, if we got a grader, it will push it. I mean, we're no different than the county and all the other towns. All the other towns have all,
That's why all the other towns called on us years ago to help them, because we had equipment that would do it.
just don't
We
get
used
the
to put
winners.
6 or 7 V-plows on the road. You can't put one on the one on the grader. But I mean, I know it's nice to have all them little perks and all them little trucks, but I don't understand that kind of money for something that you could get along without. And put it in something else, put that into another employee. So that you can go and use that grader to cut some ditches and some stuff that needs to be done.
And if he's getting so much on the auction, must be they're not that bad a shape where they can't keep them for another 2 or 3 years.
No, it's used vehicles right now.
I understand that, but you're still getting, you say you bought it for 32, sold it for 26
7 years
or whatever.
ago. You bought a new truck lately?
No, but that's not the point, that's not
Yes,
what
it
I'm
is the
saying.
point.
That's not what I'm
Because the value
saying.
of the
If you can
truck
get,
now
if you can
compared to
get
what it was 7 years
$26,000 for that truck, it
You're
can't be
missing
a
the
pile
value.
of rust.
I'm talking about you're missing value though. Compared to what it is now. You're trying to compare something 7 years ago as is today.
I understand
The
that.
value of the used one has gone up just as high as the new ones.
I understand that.
So that's why you're getting so much
And
money
that's why
for it
people are
today.
keeping the used ones, because they can't afford to buy new ones.
Because the new ones are, right, and that's why the value is so high.
They're just used for town business, right?
That's it.
Yeah,
Your trucks aren't around,
no,
okay.
Well, you see them in other towns, but those guys come and help these towns.
Right,
out.
right.
I mean,
But during the work, you don't see them out and around on Saturday and Sunday. They typically work what?
It better not be.
Monday through Thursday, right?
You're looking for
The guys,
usually, yeah.
do they just work Monday through Thursday now?
Now and then we're go out on a Saturday or a Friday for a deer pickup or something on overtime, but we try not to, you know.
You work 4 10-hour days, right?
Yeah.
Like you have for,
Yeah, in summer. So,
that goes back, how
20
long?
years ago.
been doing it 12, 14 years now.
Yeah, during the summer.
Yeah. Yep. Matches up, so.
20 years.
So how many?
That was a smart move, because you get more done in a 10-hour day and you only have 8 time to move all the equipment out, move all the equipment back, and
What's the average mileage you put on these trucks?
that worked.
Anywhere from 5 to 10.
A year?
Yeah, it depends.
And how many miles are on the truck now?
This current one's, I think it's in the, I'd have to look. It's in the 30s or 40s. I don't.
Wow.
Are those state bid price, or state bid trucks? or
State
something?
contract pricing. Yeah.
See, that's where you run into trouble. You get just what you pay for on all those things.
They're identical to the,
No, they're not. We bought big trucks for years up there. I worked there, been there 40 years. And I'll tell you, when you buy a state bid price, you buy what somebody else wants, not what you want. That's why we're in the situation we're in. You just got rid of a dump truck, didn't even have 50,000 miles on it.
Yeah, that's low mileage to get rid of all these vehicles.
I mean, the price is right, like, what's the name of saying, the price today is, when you start looking at $75,000 for a pickup truck, you're crazy. I mean, it's.
That's why we're doing.
And that same truck at a year old
Yeah.
is still gonna be worth 65,000.
That's
So
why we do state bid.
it's a tough
That's why you turn them.
situation.
You don't run them into the ground.
Yeah.
Keep them turned over.
and
Okay,
it's not so much mileage, it's how many winters they've been exposed to, am I right?
Yeah, you're driving in salt. I mean, that's the killer.
Yeah, are they million-mile trucks? Sure. You wanna pay for the maintenance on a million-mile truck? After it's seen, that's all it sees is salt?
We bought the best truck that you could buy for the department years ago, and the company itself out of Wisconsin did a survey on our trucks, and we were only spending like $600 a year on them. But we bought the best. And they went through the two biggest storms in the history of this town, and we had no major breakdowns.
Have you priced an Oshkosh lately?
We'd gone through 2 and 3 trucks to that one. And that
And
truck
we
will,
would pay for 2 or 3 trucks for that one to buy an Oshkosh.
but it'll push snow. You ask those people up west of here what
No,
they
I
think
know.
about having a big truck with a V-plow on it.
Okay, I'm trying to absorb your logic. We haven't had a V-plow out in how long?
93.
You gonna stop your life insurance just because you haven't been sick? That isn't how you do it.
Well, we have plows,
Yeah, what are you gonna put them on?
again, in an emergency, and especially since it's once every 30 years, if you put them on the loader or the grader, I can understand that.
We used to run 6 at a time out of that compartment right there.
Back when we had winters.
We had big trucks, 6-wheel drive trucks, not little trucks like they got. But it, like he says, all the towns are doing the same, and the winters are different, and they're getting by, but they didn't get by. Like what happened up west here, they didn't get by. If I'd had my truck, I could've went up there and drove through anything they had up there, anything. Cause you
If
ever
we
been
have-
around, you didn't live down 237, did you, when they had snowstorms?
No, I lived on 98, so big difference.
Yeah, not much.
I think the taxpayers would light us on fire if we put a fleet of $500,000 Oshkoshes in that barn.
Well, you're looking in the fire department, buy a $700,000 fire truck.
Yeah, and what are they doing now? They're consolidating, and they're going to cheaper trucks.
They better. They have to.
okay. Enough said. Resolution 45,
Yeah.
authorize supervisor and/or deputy supervisor to sign a contract with David DiMatteo to act as our attorney for litigation for code and zoning purposes. Whereas the town of Stafford needs an attorney to act as litigator for code and zoning purposes, whereas the town of Stafford would like to hire David DiMatteo as our attorney for litigation purposes for code and zoning issues. Therefore, the town of Stafford will hire David DiMatteo as our attorney for litigation purposes for code and zoning issues. A motion to do this.
So moved.
Second.
Where's he out of?
Warsaw.
Warsaw.
So does that mean we're gonna get these houses across the street taken care of and the one down on Pearl Road taken care of? Cause the last time I talked about it a year ago, we couldn't afford to take them to court. But yet you can spend $10,000 on Pontello and not be no further ahead today than you were 10 years ago. I don't understand that one.
Is he gonna handle all code violations or just the Pontillo thing?
Just litigation.
So where does that stand with the house across the street?
Right now.
Last month you said it was in, it's.
Right now, we're hiring him to do the case we have going to trial.
Okay, oh, so it is going to trial.
Okay, who made that motion?
Jimmy, I was like,
Motion by Councilman.
Can I ask what the issue is with that? I don't know really anything about it, and I'm just trying to figure out why we're gonna spend $10,000 or whatever we've spent already to go to court over something.
Have you seen the building?
I have.
He has numerous code and zoning violations that he hasn't corrected.
So why are you going after him? You're not going after these people across the street or the one on Pearl Road?
That process is in,
You said that last month, it's a process. How long is this process? I've heard people say they've been dealing with it for 25 years. That'd be somebody that lived close by, said they've been dealing with it for 25 years. How long is the process?
it's gonna go to court here soon. Zoning code.
They told us that a year ago.
I just said what I said. Bob?
Okay. Motion by Councilman Deason, second by Councilman Pacer. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Funny.
That's resolution 45.
Yeah. That's what you get.
this does have to put in the back of our heads, if we use Dave for litigation, should we use Dave as just our regular attorney? That way we both have a litigator and an advisor.
I think that'll be our future discussion as soon as we see what course we take. Remember?
Now, we have the New York State Senate bill proposal. Resolution in opposition to New York State Senate Bill S 00139B and Assembly Bill A 1358B. You want me to read it all, or how do you want to do this?
Can we read just the introduction to it and see if that,
Oh, I'll read it all. Whereas New York State Senate Bill number S 00139B has been passed, which, if adopted by the New York State Assembly, that's A 1358B, and signed by the government, would require all judges presiding in the 100 largest town and village courts to be licensed to practice law in the state and to have been admitted to the New York State Bar for at least 5 years. And whereas the town and village courts, this would be Genesee County, are among the nearly 1,200 justice courts in the state of New York that collectively handle close to 1 million cases each year. And whereas the town and village courts are known as the courts closest to the people and have broad jurisdiction presiding over civil and criminal matters, therefore performing a vital role in the New York State Unified Court System. And whereas the town and village court of, it would be Stafford, as a vital service to our residents and the Genesee County community as a whole, and whereas the justice in Genesee County's town and villages courts have pledged to be ever mindful of their neutrality and impartiality and render equal justice to all while continually adhering to judicial rules of ethics and pronouncements of the New York State Commission on Judicial Conduct. And whereas the justices are required to be on call 24 hours a day, 365 days a year to review and sign arrest and search warrants, perform arraignments, and issue orders of protection. And whereas the justices of town and village courts ensure that the rights afforded to defendants by the Constitution of the United States and the state of New York are provided and protected. And whereas the justices of town and village courts preside over trials involving misdemeanor and violation level offenses, thereby ensuring that the victims of those offenses can be heard. And whereas the town and village courts provide a venue for citizens to pursue a low-cost and efficient procedure for individuals to resolve civil disputes and landlord/tenant matters.
Plain and simple, if that goes statewide, we'll have to consolidate courts. You can't
Yeah.
afford to have local courts.
That's right.
So moved to,
Because this doesn't affect us right now, but
it could.
Is there anything we have to do with this?
I think he just was looking for support from the town.
Just looking for support. We vote on it, show that we support that,
And then,
we don't need
do the judges know about it?
This is representative.
yeah, Bob sent it to us. Then he started to read it, I realized it was the one Bob had.
Yeah. I'll make a motion that we sign it and send our support to it.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Schramm, second by Councilman Panic. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's unanimous, 5-0. Now, we have, how many people do we have in
From 4 or 5.
I don't know, we need to read just,
No, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 applications.
okay. So we've got to come up with a time when everybody can be here, and then we can schedule them to be
When
15
do
minutes.
Yeah. when you guys wanna do it?
When you guys do.
So that's for us to determine.
You want a date? Try to schedule?
When you guys wanna, so I can invite them.
We have a couple weeks in order to get a hold of them, to bring them in.
We won't have to interview the contractor, what's, interview them.
And I need 5 days for advertising, because you guys have to do a meeting.
This week or this week?
The 21st is.
Or you wanna go further?
That's planning board
It's
week,
plan-
isn't it?
Zoning board is 21st, the 23rd would be planning board.
I did follow.
Sure.
28th, 29th.
30th is,
Is this for the cleaning position?
yeah.
Is that a bid or is it a hire? Is it an
Both.
employee?
We have both, we have bids and hires. We have applications for people to hire, and we have some bids. So,
Do you wanna go the 30th, you said?
yeah, 30.
What time?
Do an evening, Bob?
Start at 7?
7 o'clock? 6? What time do you wanna start?
30th.
What do we got, a grant, 3 of them?
Yeah.
We got grant, 3, right?
3. No, there's two bids and 2 interviews.
We wanna do it 6:30?
Yeah, 6. It's not gonna take
Wait a
long.
minute, wait a minute. Something's going on that day.
You're not gonna be here.
No,
You're not here this week.
no,
We can't do it that week.
That's what we call it,
and we have something else going on.
Labor Day,
And it's Labor Day after that, so you wanna do this, you wanna go, well, you can't do this week then, correct? Is it
Yeah.
too short notice? You wanna
Do we
do
do the 34th?
23rd or 24th?
put it
Yeah.
in tomorrow, I'll get you 5.
21st, planning board.
There's
How
planning
about the
board.
24th? You can't do Thursdays.
I can do Thursday
Evenings?
nights, yeah.
Only do 24th?
Yeah, it's court night.
We're not gonna take up that much room, it's
No,
gonna be in and
but
out.
if they need this room for the troopers, they can use the other room.
We could use for the number of people we're gonna
Yeah,
have, we
yeah,
could
it's
use Bob's office, or we can go Or you
your
can do a
office.
stand-up meeting in your
Your
office.
office, it's not gonna take but a
Alright,
minute.
so what
to do.
day, the 24th you said?
Yeah.
We've got a room to interview with, if they can interview people, right, can we add it on to the front of the
I know,
court?
that's what I'm asking.
Use either one or just go into your office, it's only gonna take 3 or 4 minutes, really.
You never know, they could have
Yeah.
where one's occupying it and somebody wants another.
Everybody's got the museum too.
Yeah,
Throw some chairs in there.
we got the zoning office, it's big. Yeah.
Okay, we got someplace to hang it, okay.
About 6:30 then?
6:30?
If you recall, we did the stand-up interview for.
The lights didn't work.
That's right.
The
It was the
switch-
lights,
the
so
switch
we,
broke
so
and
we
we had
went
new
and
lights.
did the,
Oh, that's right.
It's already in your office.
yeah.
Maybe you could use one of the rooms over at the fire hall, they have lots of room.
Okay, so we got that issue done.
We have plenty of rooms.
That's my job.
And now we got the next
So do they.
Plumbing
Yeah.
issues.
plumbing issues.
What are the plumbing issues?
It's your ball, Steve.
Basically, the toilet and the bathrooms there, they should be replaced. We keep having issues with the float sticking, water running all the time. Place is what, 25 years old? And we had well water before the public water, so
Ain't a lot of plastic on
all that
Is that the
plastic,
reason why calls are pumping it all the time?
a couple times.
Every 6 weeks it's turned, it was like 3 months, now it's every 6 weeks. And we're spending a lot of money on calls when we could put a little bit into alleviate.
We need to replace the sinks with the automatic shut-offs.
That's actually,
And the toilets need to be,
Yeah.
whether we
Wasting a lot of
need
money.
new toilets or just new valving for them,
Um,
something to that effect.
yeah,
Toilets are cheap.
That's what I was like to say.
yeah, I
But-
know in the women's room,
installed, they may
the
not
sinks
be.
are,
Well,
Well, we,
can we look into the sinks too? I know the
Yeah.
women's room, we really have to make sure they're shut tight
Gotta get a
because they're
professional.
dripping a little bit now too.
in-house,
So, I think both need to be.
Who's cleaning now? Is she still working till they hire someone?
right there.
right there.
I'm donating my time.
Let that be known.
We did offer. And she said. we
I'm
didn't have to.
donating my time, so we need to hire soon.
Can't blame you.
So we need to advertise for the new toilets and new sinks, is that the
Yeah.
idea?
Yeah, I think we're just gonna purchase them. Because it's gonna be well under $1,000.
We've got open accounts and we're
Yeah.
probably gonna tackle that in-house,
Yeah.
Well, we can do it in-house, all right.
Yeah.
so
Okay,
it's plumbing, it ain't rocket science.
now,
We're not trying to land on the moon in Hollywood.
Very good.
I have an answer to that, but I can't repeat it here. All right, dog census. To whom they concern is dated the 7th of August.
I can't hear you, Bob.
All right. After completing the 2023 dog census for 119 residents in the town of Stafford, out of 1,042 residents, I counted 88 dogs and logged 25 miles. I realize that I am not able to complete the 2023 dog census as needed. I regretfully tender my resignation on Monday, August 7th, 2023 at 1 p.m. I apologize for not being able to complete my obligation at this time. Thank you for the opportunity to assist with this project. Sincerely, Margaret Merrick. As I remember, it wasn't all that easy to find somebody.
No.
And she did a very good job. Just the few roads she did, I think we brought in 20 to 25 more dogs.
Do we have good records of what she covered?
Yes,
All right, well then,
very
let's
good
just,
record.
let's just, if need be advertised, get somebody else.
I would just advertise for next year, like we talked about.
Yeah,
Just
wait
advertise
for
now,
next year.
make it effective next year, that way we can budget it again, and come to the budget workshops for next year. There's money left over, I'm sure, for her to spend on.
Right.
And then we'll just go from there, and we can start to advertise now. or sometime in October, I would say, October, November, hopefully give them in place by at least spring, I would guess, would be the best.
Yeah, and if it's okay,
No, I don't want that.
I did,
Do I need
I
to
only
have license
purchased
for my chickens?
750 of the sheet she fills out.
Right.
We probably need another 250, so with the extra money, I can
Yeah,
get the
there's
extra
enough money to
250.
play for.
We tried by mail before and that turned out very
Cost us a whole lot more.
Yeah, it's been hired and stuff.
Okay.
You agree, Barb, that probably
Item
sometime in October?
16, Kathy, you're up.
Okay, well, we covered, let's zip down, well, I'll start from the beginning, okay, code and zoning process, we already sort of know that that's a process. My big thing is, I'm trying to find, how do I find out special use permits? I've gone to planning, they sent me to assessor, assessor sent me to Barb, Barb sent me to zoning, zoning said, how do you keep record of people that have special use permits?
Okay, you have not come to me. You asked for a logbook.
Right,
There is no logbook, and I told you that.
okay, so how do you record special use permits? I thought it was per property. I was told way back that it stayed with the property. So, say if Harold's house had a special use permit and he sold it, the special use permit stays with that property, but only for that special use. So,
Why, are you looking for one?
a special use permit?
Yeah.
No, I went through getting a business and had to do a site plan for my travel agency which was, then I was told I really probably didn't have one.
No,
But
right.
I paid my $75 and I did my little site plan for the 3 customers I have a year. So I'm good, I'm legal. But how do I know, like in general, I had to pay $75. How many people have paid for special use permits? Like, do you need a special use permit for your business?
No. It's
Okay.
all agriculture.
Huh?
It's all agriculture.
Okay, a trucking company? Oh, well, I guess it could. Okay, I don't know. Ron's tree thing, tree
agriculture.
agriculture.
I
But
have
special-
one in case you're interested.
Well, yeah, okay, so you do have a special use permit for yours, okay. But you had to get a special use permit for yours, Ron, for your,
No,
why did Casper Farms have to get one then? They're a farm. That's sort of what made me come to this, because Casper Farm had to go, they're a farm, and they had to go through a special use permit, a site plan and everything,
I have no
Just-
retail establishment, I have a field.
but you sell from there, isn't that considered retail?
It's not a store.
Huh, okay, technical. But I mean, that's what I mean, how do you find out who has special use permits? How many special use permits the town has issued? To anybody?
I don't know if there's any one place where you could go.
Well, how would I find out, like, the house I bought 2.5 years ago, guy had a business there. I'm assuming maybe he had a special use permit. How would I find out if he had
Well,
a special use?
That's easy, the assessor would have the file on that property.
Oh, the assessor would, okay.
Either the assessor or the code enforcement. They have a file on all of that too.
The assessor said she didn't have anything.
She might not, but I mean, go see Gene. He can tell you what he
But
did.
for an individual property, that's how they're filed.
That's how they're filed, okay.
So they would be on a property.
Well, hold on a second, I'm
Yeah.
confused. So on an ag residential district, this may be not current, this is E code 360. Permitted uses, agriculture uses, sound agriculture practices, similar activities carried out in the compliance. Residence, single-family, multifamily, but then it goes further, it goes to special use permits. Uses by special use permit. Residential, public, commercial, ag, equipment sales, service, repairs. So you have to have a permit for a commercial ag, equipment sales and service repair business. How does that, I guess it's kind of contradicting, right? So you need a special use permit if you're in an ag residential zone for multifamily dwellings, boarding houses, manufactured homes, public institutions, commercial, agricultural equipment sales, service and repair. Agricultural-based business require a special use permit.
If you're fixing a vehicle, if you're,
Not what it says here,
yes, it is.
For a
Where?
commercial business.
As if for a commercial business.
agricultural-based business.
If you're a repair business for repairing other people's tractors or something in the shop, that would require you to have a special use permit.
In an ag residential location.
Yes.
All right.
So maybe zoning, maybe that's the zoning meeting I go to? Maybe they could help me more?
Well, here's the issue. We have special use permits, we approve them. They're assigned to the property. What is the purpose of your inquiry?
Just to know basically how many special use permits and what type of, like, who needs a special use permit to do what on their property, I guess.
Right, that's in our
That's
zoning law.
It is in the zoning law, okay,
Yeah.
so that's, okay. So I'll check with them on that.
But most of those permits, people come in, like your project. I think you came in for a sawmill business years back, and now you don't saw logs there, so it's pointless now, you know? But if you wanted to again, you could.
But if I wanted to start it, would I have to go through that whole process again, or do I have that permit because it's attached to the property?
No.
Because you didn't buy it, it wasn't in production when you were, you know.
Oh, okay, so I have to go through the whole process again. Interesting.
Yeah, if you bought the property because you wanted the sawmill, because you wanted to keep going sawing, then it probably would have been okay, but.
That would have been part of the process, you could just reapply,
Yeah.
and they would just give you the business with a different business name. So you technically would have reapplied.
Okay.
I guess if you're asking, do we have a list where you can check off every business against their special use permit, the answer is no. If you have a specific question on a specific business,
Then you go to that property.
then it's filed by property.
So does the town know exactly, I mean, do you know how many businesses people have in their homes?
If they haven't filed for a special use permit, no.
No, I had my agency for 5 years. To be honest with you, I have a Byron address. I called Byron and said, I want to open a travel agency in my home. What do I need to do? He said, good luck. You don't have to do anything with us. Then, through process, I'm like, whoa, I'm town of Stafford, I better ask. So when I asked Bill Van Ost, he said, yes, you have to have a site plan and all this, which I thought was a little overkill because I go out to clients, they don't normally come to my house, but I did it and now I can have my clients come to the house, I guess, so. I'm just wondering how many other businesses around Stafford have businesses that have never gone through that process. Is that code and zoning?
You wouldn't know if it was a small business, if they never applied for it, who knows?
Starts with zoning.
There's a good question, anybody know anybody,
Then you-
anything about the business on the Roanoke Road? Guy's got all kinds of machinery in his front yard.
Oh, they got that farm equipment? Isn't it farm equipment or something?
No,
No?
no, it isn't.
Construction
go.
equipment.
Yeah, he's a landscaper.
Where is it?
Roanoke.
Roanoke?
Contractor's yard,
Landscaper.
landscaper.
But he has, you have to ask Gene, I don't know if he has a permit for it.
Would you need a business for landscaping? Because landscaping, you go out to their houses.
It's just storage equipment.
Storage
I think
equipment.
that's all he has, is extra equipment this year.
Right. Roanoke Road?
You need a permit if you're agriculture, you live in agriculture?
If you're an agriculture person, you need a permit.
Yeah.
Got another question?
That's that question. What jobs do you, like, what do you advertise? And this, I guess my question could go to maybe Councilman Panic, because you keep telling us, you've said in the past that if we want to know anything about Town of Stafford, go to the website, because that's where you can find everything. So are the jobs and bids not posted on the website?
If we advertise, they can be added to the website, sure.
Okay, because I didn't know anything about only because I came to the meetings. I thought the cleaning job was going out because it went out to a bid before. I thought it was going out for a bid, didn't know it was gonna be an employee thing. I didn't know you were looking to do both.
Did we run an ad on
Either
that?
one.
Yeah,
There's an ad.
Yeah, there was, I saw it in the penny saver.
Mhm.
So that's what confused me. I'm like, well, are they bidding it, or was it a bid, or was it for an employee?
They don't do it online.
Okay, so Barb, are you replacing your deputy?
No,
You're not gonna replace a deputy next year, or just gonna go with one?
I'm winging it for now.
Okay. But you still have Jane?
Mhm.
And then, let's see that. Special, the executive meetings. So I was here for the last special meeting, August 2nd, and Barb sat in on that, and that was a personnel matter, was it not? Do they all, I guess that shocked me, she'd sit in on a personnel matter.
She
Oh,
can,
yeah,
she can
there.
do so by
Process, we have
invitation of the
people.
rest of the board.
So
We had
just-
Gene in there because
Right.
he would
He was-
interact with them, we had Barb in there because
She
she would
interacts with them.
interact with them.
Oh, okay, so they were part of the
Right.
interview and
Right.
choosing or
If they have a
whatever.
question, because those are the two direct most people that those people are gonna work with directly on this.
Okay, that just, yeah, okay. And the website, still not user-friendly. I went to look for a FOIL request form and couldn't find it, and I went to the document center, because I thought, document center, that's where I would look, and I got a oops, doesn't exist. So I came down and got one. But Barb said just to go under recent
Mhm.
notices and
And
stuff,
just keep going.
and keep going back. I had to click back 8 times before I found the FOIL request. Can we not make that document
I
center
can
work?
talk to IT, but I don't know.
So
Did you save it as a file and
I do now, so I have it, but I just figured,
just make it easier?
but a person going saying, oh, I need a
Right.
FOIL thing, and they're gonna go and they're gonna try to find
Search
it. Some of those links still don't work.
Right.
And I noticed the 2 months of minutes aren't there, but I think I just gotta keep clicking back, cause I
They're
think
there.
I asked you before, and
They're
so
there.
I gotta just keep clicking back. I guess the minutes up in the corner, are those links gonna go away, because they don't work? Take them off if they don't work.
I gotta play with it more. I'm so busy, I haven't had time to play with it.
Well, maybe you should replace Michelle.
Maybe I
money's
should
in the
think about
budget,
my
right?
job. I
Huh?
will do my job, thank you.
Okay. Guess that's it.
Okay, are we ready for the bills, or?
Well, let's go
Do the
around
bills
the
or you
table.
wanna do?
I do.
All right,
Nothing.
Ron's gonna
Ed, you
go
got
to-
anything?
Not yet, but I think Ron's gonna come up with.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so, coming out of the special meeting, we looked at both candidates. Don had the best background, the other candidate was nice guy, good personality, no zoning experience, no construction experience, no construction materials experience. Don had 25 years of construction material experience, and he helped write some of our zoning laws. So that's the choice we went with. We talked a lot about how we should do ours, and as we talked it through, we finally came to the conclusion that why don't we see where we can start some good productive hours, and we'll adjust from there. The idea is to get Gene some immediate help. And the way we can get him immediate help is to start Don, start him on zoning, and you guys gave me the mission to give Don a call and find out what kind of schedule we can put together that we can do right now. So, after talking, we, figured we could do, you have this set up, all right. So you have it set up where you do Wednesday night, Thursday night, and every other Saturday.
The first and third, yes.
All right. And what we were going to do is we're going to take our current budget, divide it by the 24 hours of coverage we budgeted for, and distribute the money in that fashion. So that means probably Gene's got to go up a little, and Gene has some other concerns. He didn't share it with me. I know he shared it with you. So we might want a short executive session on this
We'll
one.
discuss pay too.
All right. So, I think we have a, good schedule, to get started with here and go from there. I've got a,
Over the course of 8 weeks, I mean, over the course of 4 weeks, so 2 pay periods,
And that's
it averages out to
8 hours a week, basically. is
Yeah.
what you want.
You
Okay.
figure in the
You have a long week
meetings,
and a short week, a long week and a short week.
yeah, but it averages out to 8
That's
hours
kind of
a
a
week.
week we were shooting for, yeah. Good.
And we based it on an hourly rate
Mhm.
of what that position is.
Yeah.
Is,
we
As-
ba-
as I progress-
we base the salary distribution on the hourly rate that,
That's in our current budget.
that's in our current
Yeah.
budget. That means if somebody calls you on the phone, the meter doesn't start to run.
got it?
Should.
That- And we have the money, obviously, we've been working with one person right now, so.
As I get certified and progress, if the hours go up, we'll talk.
We'll make
I
that
have-
program.
I don't have any worries.
We'll make that program work.
I'd like to start the first full pay period in September. I don't know when that is, but when is your pay period?
Steve, you would know best.
It ends next Sunday?
Yeah, I think it starts at the 19th, it starts this week, so it's probably gonna be the 4th, which is the labor, or I think is when it starts.
So I get paid for Labor Day. Oh, no, I don't work Labor Day.
Now, you wouldn't start till Wednesday anyway, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, the weekend before.
Then we can get started, get certified. Have you
Yeah.
looked at all that?
I have.
Yeah,
I've been working on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And can you do most of it online, you think, right now, or don't you,
I can do a majority, yes.
majority of it?
Yeah,
Okay.
some of it will have to be,
In
but
class,
the thing is with the online, you have to take it when it's available.
yeah, no,
It's real time,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So, that's all right.
Yeah.
One intriguing thing that came up, you work right near the state office for this.
I do. I could probably walk there, yeah.
So that would be an opportunity to establish our link with the state a little bit better. Because I don't think, I think it's a resource that could be utilized.
No, I agree. So I'll plan on starting that week.
Sure.
And Don, please come see me, because I don't have it yet, but I'll get a packet, an employment packet.
Sure.
from you. So come see me, so you fill out all the W-2s and
Okay.
all that stuff.
And then we'll get with Gene, because I know he, in the beginning, wants to give up some Wednesdays, gonna give up some time and start working Wednesday evenings with you, kind of get you to.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
No, we covered that in the phone call,
Yeah.
that Gene had volunteered to do Wednesday nights to have.
So, get you going.
So, having come from the board, you have to pass a resolution for the keepers for pay based on the,
We'll have, once we establish that, right?
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
something valid for it.
So put it together and we'll.
But we'll be able to easily get it by the end of the first pay period in September.
okay, yeah.
And you can easily do the numbers, take the budget amount,
No,
divide it by
I got the
24.
numbers.
Yeah.
No, But
So-
the bookkeepers are gonna need,
Yes, but
You know, the
you need the
resolution.
specifics, but you got a pretty good idea what it's gonna be.
sure.
Yeah.
We can actually, once we get into once we come back on executive budget, we'll know executive session, once we know.
Yeah.
Then we can establish it for you and,
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Okay?
Yes,
Do we
I'd like
need-
to.
Yeah, all right, you already said, we'll do the resolution at the next meeting and
No.
put everything in hard numbers.
yeah, because,
Did you notice that?
well, next meeting is gonna be
Thank you.
the 11th, but he wants to start before. Should we have that resolution at the end of the executive meeting?
All right, if you think we can develop the numbers by then, sure.
It'll be close. I got some numbers written down, so
Just let me know.
Well, if you already did your homework, why don't we,
I'm gonna see if I have it, but I can, probably sure I can get it real quick if I don't do it again. I have it somewhere here.
good.
So in essence, you're 416 hours a year right now. That's what you would be at 8 hours a week. Okay.
Okay.
Do the current money. That's gonna be 20 months. It'd be 624 if you work, that's what Gene works, the current rate, 624 hours is what he works, so. I have the current rate of 2804. Is what you came up with? Okay. So the rate for that would be 460. So right now we pay him 11,664.64 for the year. Is that what you came up with?
I'm not sure where you're going.
Well, you just calculated,
I did the, yeah, but I did what
where
we're,
Gene is right now.
right now,
Oh,
where Gene
right,
is right
right.
now.
All right.
And that's what you calculated out when you talked to him?
I didn't talk to Gene,
Okay.
I only talked to.
Oh, I know what that is, I'm talking about his
Yeah,
rate.
you talked to Gene, I haven't.
I know what the rate is.
Yeah,
for
Gene never raised
Yeah,
it with me.
yeah. That was the issue with Gene, is that if we went to Gene and we raised Gene to 3365, we would stay in the same budget. We wouldn't go over the budget. So we stay at the same number with him as we do with Gene. So. And when you come certified, we'll raise you to the same price.
So what did you come up with for,
Hourly rate, or for the annual, 11,664.64 is what we'll come up with. It comes up 416 hours at a 52 work week, for the 52 weeks out of the year, at 8 hours per week. That's the current budget, what we're paying right
so
now.
the current budget is for both positions? Is
No, for one position. For both positions, 17.5 for both positions right now. That's what we're paying.
17.5 per month?
For the 12-hour guy. That's what's in the budget right now. So the total budget is what, 30, so total code's 39,500, but that's expenses also part of that. 36,000 for employees, so it's 18,000, yeah, just under 17.5 per employee. I think there might be a $500 expense in that thing that I didn't put in there. Let's be sure, let's read the budget to be sure. Steve, what you call the spider that's coming up?
I was saying, I haven't seen a spider come out of here.
All right, hold on, Don. $17,500 is recommended budget for code and zoning for both of them, 17,500. So that's what it is right now.
And that's for 12 hours?
That's the personnel, that's in, well, that's
Total
that's what we have
24.
budgeted, but we have 12 hours now that Gene's working, so that's what he's making in a 12-hour day, or for the 12 hours a week.
Right.
So you would go 8 hours a week at that same pay. So you divide your 17.5, divide that by the 416 hours that you'd be working for the year, and that'd be your hourly rate. And then divide, and you multiply that out, and that comes out to 11,666.64.
No.
What's that? He's a third less hours. So that's why it's coming out at that rate. So it's the same rate. You're paying the same rate that he's
Right.
making right now, but
What the number you came up with? 11.5?
11,666.64.
11 what?
11,666. Hey, can you step up here? Let me look at this. Let's make sure we're doing this correctly. Between you and me.
Yeah.
So he's currently working it,
Right.
and he take his hours. This is what he's making right now. So he takes 12 hours at that hourly rate, divided by that, so you would take 416 divided by that. That's the hourly rate. That's what Gene's making right now.
Oh, I get it.
Okay,
Yeah.
you get it?
So what's the hourly rate?
The hourly rate's 28.04.
Okay, that's what I came up with.
That's what I
I
thought.
thought you said 25.
No, 28.04.
That's what I came up with.
Did you ever, when we talked, we were gonna do a little research on this progression of office hours. Because if you go back far enough, when we didn't have a code, New York State code, we did have zoning. And back when, and you guys are gonna have to help me out, because it's before my time, but back when, like Dave was the zoning officer back then, did he have office hours, or did he just do everything over the phone?
There was no office when he
Yeah. So we've kind of progressed to having, and that's the point I've been making, we've progressed to be having these office hours to be more, be more responsive, but with it comes a cost. And again, if we contract out, then, yeah, it's more reasonable, but we're not gonna have the responsiveness. We're not gonna have somebody here.
Yeah, I agree with that. And, I think another part of this is that people will have a person to go to a face to see, somebody that they can deal with personally versus over a phone. And I think we're gonna get a lot more response that way than you would just a voice over the phone. I mean, we talked about that. Yeah. And this is how it's progressed, and it may have started back when my dad was doing it, and they put on a second person.
Yeah. But, well, and again, everything I did when it was code through Rochester
Mm-hmm.
and zoning through, well, hold it, no. I did have one later on, when I put my furnace in, but it was all over the telephone.
How do you drop off blueprints if you don't have an office to bring them
You'll take them to Batavia.
to their code person?
Yeah, if we contract out with them.
Or they may meet. It's gonna be an open interpretation, whether they may meet you or whatever they decide, because there'll be a phone number to contact and an online contact. There'll be somebody assigned to Stafford to do that work, so. And if you make a contact with them either via internet or by phone, you make an office hour, they'll be here, so. They usually respond less than 24 hours, so.
Yeah, because part of the problem is we see where other towns contract it out, and they have a very reasonable rate, but you take on the responsibility of doing the logistics. It's simply not the same. And we want, as we do this, we want to make sure everybody knows that there would be a change.
Will new hours be posted on the website once he's up and running?
Yes.
Like the Saturday hours and
Yes.
stuff?
Yes, definitely.
Well, your 2 nights, you're pretty consistent. You're 6 to 8:15, right?
Yeah.
Wednesdays and Thursdays. So that's what I'll start with.
I could go later, but I'm not worried about it, but yeah.
I mean, you're-
That would be office hours, and I could be working after.
Yep.
And then first and third Saturday from 8 to
Which is good. I mean, because probably half your business is true business hours, 8 to 4, and your other half of business is after hours for homeowners and
yeah.
people that work
I
up.
run into that every day and trying to get things done.
Yeah, if you work a regular job, you can't even go to a bank anymore, because they're not open
And
Saturdays.
again, normally, I shouldn't say anything's normally, but you would expect that during the day it'll be contractors and it'll be the code.
Yeah,
And at night, it'll be homeowners and it would be zoning. So we would, right off the bat, have experts for both in there.
I'll be up and running.
Gonna go to executive session, we'll talk about Gene.
Yep.
Okay, and then how we compensate both.
Wait,
We say with the budget, you have something, oh yeah, you wanted to say
yeah,
that.
yeah,
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 that's
please let me do
going
this.
around.
Please, I'm very excited to do this. I want to thank Linda Snell for her many, 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 many hours of research, and it pays off. We now have the banner. Thank you, Linda.
Very ways.
Welcome. It's very, very nice, and I'm asking that they be put up soon
Yeah.
until Halloween. Please, please?
Can you
Try.
possibly do that, Mr. Bolt?
we'll try. Have to look at the brackets and see what's involved and all that.
You want us to get a measurement in some of the towns? I don't know how high they would want to put them.
It's probably gonna depend on the pole and how much other crap is
I mean,
hanging
as long as
on.
they're high enough so equipment doesn't hit them or something like that,
Right.
that's fine.
Right. I mean, there's a lot of wires
Get
on
ready to
fire.
do them. If you want us to mark, we'll go along with you when you do it, or, and show you the poles.
I mean, you got a list kinda? Okay,
Came prepared, huh?
I'm ready.
sometime. A little bit of 237 and 5 and
Yeah, we don't got,
a little bit of Morganville.
yeah,
No,
no,
only gonna go to the country club on 237,
right by the driveway.
Cliff Knot Road to the old railroad track,
Okay.
And one on the transfer road, I think.
one on the transit in front of the cemetery.
This side.
Okay. Yeah, we didn't get too much.
17 of them, I think, there's altogether.
I believe
Okay.
Sherry would like to have you call her when you're ready, because there's a certain way to do it so that we can get life never mind. Length of life out of them longer, how's that? So if you don't mind, just contact
Yeah.
her when you,
Yeah, if you got it, have Barb get a copy of that.
okay,
Try
appreciate
to eye
it,
it out.
Good job.
See what I-
thank you. I appreciate the board going ahead and paying for these and getting them up. I think it'll dress up our community. I'm
Whoever brought it, thank you.
Gonna change your rates.
You wanna pay the bills first, or you wanna go to executive session?
Let's pay the
Pay the bills.
bills.
It'll only take a few minutes in executive session.
Pretty good. Okay. Make a motion to make general fund 08 to the amount of $55,910.86. Huh?
I already put in. Second.
And that was 55,910.96, right?
Yep.
Okay, reading.
Get a second?
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Make a motion to pay highway number 8 in the amount of $135,864.12.
Second.
Most of it was blacktop installed.
I think we're done.
Okay, motion by Councilman Beeson to pay highway abstract number 8 for $155,864.12. Second by Pacer, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Boy, you ended your diet in the bank.
Make a motion to pay capital projects number 8 in the amount of $2,379.53.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Deason to pay capital fund in the amount of $2,379.53. Second by Pacer, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I make a motion to pay water fund number 8, $44,635.44.
644 or 30?
$44,635.44. That's all interest at all water districts.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Deason, second by Councilman Pacer, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carry.
You don't put a rate on there,
No.
That's it?
Yep.
Thank
I
you.
hope so. It was 200 and some thousand. Yeah.
Most of it's high.
One quick question I forgot to ask. Any update on Water District 12?
Oh, I'm glad you asked, Kathy, because they're gonna be, I'm not lying to you. The pipe's ordered, fingers crossed, hopefully by sometime in September, they're gonna start digging. So, the contractor assures he wants to start yesterday, so he's ready to go, so.
Who do we contact as far as specs?
Sergi.
Sure.
Sergi?
Yep.
He can give you like the specs for the water side, the pipe size, and how deep we gotta go.
They will have a
that's-
meeting, you will get a
It's
letter
coming
on
in
that.
September.
Okay.
There'll be a public meeting in
Cause I wanna
Monroe
start,
County.
I wanna start digging, and I don't wanna.
Monroe County will have a public meeting in September. It'll be advertised, everybody will know, so.
Thank you.
They'll give you the hookups, they'll give you everything that you have to do.
I had to dig a bunch of trees out and I'm ready for digging a hole.
Yeah, so are we.
You probably should put a stake
Yeah, that's what you were saying before, where I wanna put
where
it.
you want.
Yeah,
Or
yep,
they'll just,
put it wherever. Okay. Awesome.
all right.
He said sort of the thing, so. Just move to a quick, executive session so we talk about pay to Gene and how we're gonna do it, move it around.
Call that
Everybody wants
9:05.
to. It'll only take a couple of minutes.
Second.
Second.
And all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye.